Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. This term is broken. Right. Hey, Pepe. Yeah, okay. So, what we are doing today, let me just make absolutely sure I'm allowed to do this. Public. Cool. So, I never stream client work, because client work is typically closed source. I build custom sims. This client decided to open source the sim, so that means there's no reason I can't do the development for it live, which I figure would be pretty cool. And also, I'm sort of towards the end of this chunk of the project, and it's starting to drag just a little bit. You know, there's a lot of debugging and testing that I got to do. So I figured it would be fun and probably more productive to do it on stream. I don't feel like I'm missing stream hours, and client gets their work done faster. Everybody wins. I've got I don't know, a good couple hours, 2.5 hours now to get a little bit of stuff done on this. Let me tell you what this environment is about. So this is a commerce environment in which we are simulating buying and selling compute from data centers. And then there's like negotiation of prices. And I mean, this is going to actually be used, right? So real world end, not everything is robotics, right? You can use RL on a ton of different problems. And I figured we do a little bit of dev on this thing. It's a massive cup, honestly. I feel like I could use a way bigger one. The recipe for that is it's a 66 gram of protein mug of hot chocolate. That's what that is. Welcome, YouTube folks. So we do some real dev today. Unfortunately, the real dev is mostly going to be cleaning up and testing this environment, but I think it'll still be pretty interesting to watch. Yeah, so this is the initial test that we have. We pretty much just have like this specification loaded in, and we're going to be attempting to match specific outputs. So notes for $5 each. Energy expense. Let's see if we can get this to be a predictable number. You check some pull requests? I really should, but I also have to get some client work done. I have this client job. It was supposed to be done before the holidays, but then some stuff happened, so I've been just needing to catch this one up. And then I have one more that we signed that we need to get started on. That one can't be streamed. So I'd like to at least get this chunk done, and then I can catch up on my other stuff. I have a ton of different plates spinning. I know, like, there are some pretty major fixes that have been PR'd, as well as a couple really awesome environments like Overcooked. I'm going to merge all of that stuff. It's just there's a lot to do lately. Started for Arc AGI 3. I will be surprised if that works, frankly. The pattern recognition of portion of that is not learnable within the environment itself. How long I've been working on this? On this client end, I can't tell you when we signed. A few months. I can say a few months. Anyways, yes, this revenue number, we want this number to be something predictable, right? So, oh, there's a formula for this, right? Because it should be, it's like $10 times, hang on, so it's 90 steps. Wait, is this even remotely close? No, it's off by a factor of 2, isn't it? Wait, 10 nodes. Let's make my math easier. Actually, what if I do all 100 nodes? Node capacity. Oh wait, it doesn't have 100. Huh? I'm confused then. Oops. We want to get this to be a predictable number, and then we want to have a few different specs that match. Job TB usage. Make sure we're not just calculating terabytes. Okay, so that gets us perfectly to, this is still double the number I would expect, right? $18,000. Wait, should it not just be 100 times 10 times? Should it not be 10,000? Interesting. There's nothing going on weird here. And so one node. Oh, is it times 24? No, because it's in hours, right? So it's one node. Node price should be $10. Where's the other $800 coming from? Figured this out. I think we can just do update. Okay, so this is what we're expecting, right? Look, we get $10 of revenue per tick, and somehow we have 1,800. Oh, I think we're counting it twice, right? Yeah, we're double counting. Yeah, so right here. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so we have to figure this one out then because this was actually a genuine modeling difficulty. So the question was, right, you have this on demand, you've got this on demand compute, and when do you recognize the profits, right? Do you treat it like an account that just ticks down and it's paid for per hour, or do you treat it as a reservation? If we treat it as a reservation, the rewards definitely get easier. Cool, 900 rev. $1,000 of revenue. That's what we like. I'm just going to do this because I think we're going to end up with a few different types of these. Well, oops. How did I mess up? Full. So now what I'd like to do, I believe this is 200 steps. Yeah, so first of all, why is it 200 steps? Not 200 steps, okay, interesting. 500 steps. All right, let's figure out why the heck it's 500 steps. And then I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to just write some actual automated tests on this thing. And it'll be nice. I don't actually typically have to do this with M's all that often. It's very, very important for like difficult to verify M's, essentially stuff that's not like obvious from the visuals if it's correct or not. It's one of the reasons we like games so much in RL. Okay, we have this. Right. I'm just gonna do one, two. Yeah, it repeats each tick 5x. So let's see why. So we have this like negotiation thing. Yeah, we have this negotiation thing where if you're negotiating, it doesn't actually increase time. Negotiations possible. Okay, so where's tick get incremented? Here. Okay. Okay, so we are stuck here. Response price. Okay, I see what's happening here. So what's happening is the cluster's out of capacity. So yeah, the cluster doesn't have any more capacity left as it takes the job. Um, but then there's another job that comes up into the queue, and everything gets protracted because of that. So let me think what we do about that. What's the desired behavior here? I think that what we do is just as an optimization. Um, if there is no agent that can accept the job, then we do not trigger negotiation phase. That will be better. Not can accept job. That's kind of messy, but I think that works for now, right? Ooh, that's nice. No more Opus? I don't need it for what I'm doing right now, do I? Like I said, when I write that, like, I gotta just write that article, otherwise people are gonna get the wrong idea. Like, that might have made me 5x faster for chunks of stuff that I was doing when I have CUDA kernels that are bound to Torch, that are redundantly bound to Python, that also have to fit the C++ API. Like, there's a ton of redundancy, and it's very fiddly, and nothing is well documented, and it's also very precise, but it's also very verifiable. I don't really want Opus touching this. I mean, I could probably use it, and it would probably make me a little bit more productive, maybe. But I'd also have to, like, it would be about the same amount of effort to make sure it doesn't go off the rails. I still have to write the article, and there's just a bunch of client work and other stuff I gotta do. Are we off by one tick? Yeah, we're off by one tick. So it should be. Okay. Here's our test. And we need a few more tests. This is a client NFBR. The reason I'm deving it is I realized, wait a second, I don't have to spend like a few hours, like several times a week doing this off stream because it's actually open source anyways. So I figured I'd be more productive doing it on stream and I'd get my streaming hours in too. Plus, we send over a couple people to look at the cool stuff they're doing because this is a pretty interesting commerce env. It models cloud purchasing. And people also keep asking like what I do professionally, right? So this is what we do. It's pretty much the same thing. We build M's, but then the M's are just for various applications. Mm-hmm. Let me think what we do with this. Oh yeah, and if you're you guys are interested in this as well, you can go follow. Let me find the guy. He just made an X account for the. Yeah, this guy. You can go check his stuff out over here. Okay, so these curves, I'd like to have the energy demand be predictable here. So let's do. Okay, so I want this to be. Sine. Yeah, that's kind of gross, isn't it? Right, this was just like Taylor. Not Taylor. Fourier expansion. So wait, if I set all of these to 0, I can set all these. Let's here, hang on. We're gonna try to come up with like a predictable Fourier series. So what this is, the guy wanted a very configurable way to specify functions that model energy pricing. So I went, okay, I have no idea how to do that other than just like letting you write an arbitrary piece of code, but you're gonna want to write Python and I have C, so like, you know what? Here, have the first have the first three Fourier components. There, model whatever you want. That was kind of funny. A Fourier series is wave expansion. You can use it to model, well, any function, but way more realistically, any sort of very periodic function with not too many components. You add a few sines and cosines together, and you get something that looks a lot like your function quite quickly. Yeah, I thought that was kind of amusing. Equals 0. It should be able to equal 0, right? No division. Hey, remove this bot. Hey, user. Welcome. Nice. All right, why do we still have energy revenue? How do we possibly still have energy revenue and energy expense? Max of 0 and 0 minus, okay, price plus sensitivity squared. Oh, that's really janky, isn't it? Yeah, that's better. So now what we're gonna do, right, is got the seller's back. Use SFTFFT. Yeah, it's everybody's favorite thing. It's cool, but it only comes up in like specific applications reasonably often, right? Really? Ooh, we have 1,100 job revenue. That's weird. Look at that. How did that happen? You see? 1,100 job revenue. That's bad. We'll figure this one out. I'll waterboard myself with hot chocolate. Let's see. All right, so how is this? Oh, I bet you the agent just doesn't get reset, right? We reset. Yeah, you see there's one extra step. Oh, because it doesn't end, duh. Okay. So, people gather to share. Is there some place? Yeah, discord.gg/puffer. We have probably the biggest Discord in the space. It's all open source. What's the agent learning this end? There are a couple different agents. They're learning how to buy and sell compute, though. Essentially, how to price different jobs. And again, these guys are right here if you want to check out their stuff. So let me think what we should be doing on reset. Actually, we can totally just return from this, can't we? I think we can literally just do this and we're good. Yeah, there we go. Now we pass our test. Negotiations we're simulating. Yeah, so the one thing that's a little bit janky about that is you have to just not advance the time step and essentially give the agents multiple steps of back and forth in which they can propose new prices, which will sort of mess up the credit assignment horizon a little bit, but hopefully not too bad. We'll see. Okay, this is our first test pass though, so I'm gonna use the restroom and then we're gonna go add a bunch more of these. And the idea here is gonna be that we just put a bunch of different scenarios in here. We essentially load in different scenarios and we make sure that the expected behavior is what we see. And then this will give us a lot of confidence that the sim is fully correct. We'll probably fix a bunch of bugs in the process because this was a big update to it. And then we'll get training some agents. And I will leave their Twitter page up in the meanwhile, so you can follow them here while I use the restroom. Right back. Okay. Time step only advances if there's a buy or sell. At the moment, it's not quite going to be that okay. Because there's also, it's either if there's a buy or sell or if it's impossible to fill an order. There's also a timeout on negotiation. So there are a few different conditions that can advance the buy or sell state. Like I said, 24, the article will be there when I write it. And lots of stuff to do. Probably soon. Probably soon though. What do we do? What do we do? All right. So next one will be right. So we need to do. Hang on. Can I do this way? Hmm. Let's do it this way. Yeah, let's do it this way, right? Well, it's a little iffy, isn't it? Because we're gonna have different types of tests. Yeah, okay, we'll do it this way. No reason to try to save a line. Okay, so yeah, we'll just do basically the entire block repeated. And this next one will be, I have a doc. The doc I can't share, but let me find, I think we discussed some of the tests that I wanted to include with them. Let me go find it. Okay, so Pete Center Energy Producer Hybrid. Okay, so we wanted to test out energy production. Yeah, so there's supposed to be an energy production spec. So let's do that. So we'll just have, let me think how that works. That's kind of janky, isn't it? I guess it's a good test. It's a quite good test. So, yeah, we'll just do the exact same as before. Kilowatt hour generation. We need to just do the prices, don't we? Oops, no, not that one. These ones. Node capacity, energy base demand. Yeah, so I need to go check how these factor in and how I want to do this. Sine is 0 to 0, cosine 0 is 1. Okay, so times pi is t over 24. So we set kilowatt hour price base, and A1 is all we need to set, I believe. So we just do okay, so energy revenue is 8.89. Cool. I think we want to change this to be, instead of 100, let's say this is going to be a 4-day test. Well, that's annoying actually, because it doesn't, hello, last mutual, welcome. We're doing a little bit of environment development. But we don't have, hang on, why is this one screwing up? Job revenue, 1100 again, okay. Oh, because it's got a reset? Well, that's actually a pain. Let's fix that real quick. the way you want them. Yeah, so once this env is set, I'll be good for a little bit. Well, not actually very long. We have 2 or possibly 3 new contracts starting soon. So I need to kind of balance my time between that and the Puffer4 ODev. I really wish I could just like finish, slam all the kernel dev, have it done, and then start all these contracts, but unfortunately it took me a little longer than I was expecting. Realistically, it was just much more complicated than I was expecting to get up to 10 mil, and we still have 1 mil to go. I think within a few more streams we'll basically have the super jank prototype of the tech done for Puffer4, and then it'll just be a whole bunch of cleaning up and testing, which that's easier to do concurrent with client stuff, I'd say. Ooh, hang on, did we screw something up? Yes, we did. Let's see. Oh, I see. So there is a big problem with this. Will you still go to college? Yeah. Dude, I was such a dumbass by comparison at 16 to 17. Like, okay, sure, I was doing cool stuff for my age, right? Like, I was doing stuff several years ahead of my age, but it was still garbage. It takes a long time to actually get to be reasonably competent. And that's still true today. Like today you have the illusion of competence because a lot of the tools are much easier. That doesn't actually mean that you know what's going on, right? It takes a long time to actually learn things at a level that you know what is going on. Like I kind of vaguely remember how programming felt before I actually understood things, and it's just like, I mean, people say clear writing is clear thinking. I try programming. Yes, assembly is taught as a standard in college. It's not really taught. The thing is, it's introduced too early to where you can't really appreciate it. Back then, I'd actually probably, if I were gonna go study anything again, it would probably be some of the system stuff that I didn't really understand when it was introduced. Okay, so now we have this one, fine. I believe what we should do, so it's 100 steps, right? So reset. Interesting. Right. Okay, this is expected, and then we do -1. Okay, now it's getting a little awkward. Oh, well, this assert. Yeah, okay, cool. So this one passes. Hang on, let's double check. Learn in college versus on your own. I mean, it's kind of difficult because, like, let me tell you why that question is so awkward. So, like, technically, did I learn my basic system stuff in college? Yes. Did I appreciate it in a way that I was able to do literally anything at all with it? No. In fact, it was so bad that I refused to touch anything low level for the next nearly decade. But then when I came back to systems, having spent 10 years programming and 10 years just really caring about how do we write better, faster code, even though I was doing it in totally the wrong language, mostly Python, it only took me 3 weeks before I was at least as comfortable, if not more comfortable, in C than I was in Python. Um, and that wasn't because of what they taught me, right? That was because what I had learned about how to write good code over the last decade. So, like, yes, I remembered, yes, there is a stack, there is a heap, I need to allocate memory, this is what a pointer is, yada yada. Sure. But, like, the nuts and bolts of it are such a small component of learning in general that I'm really not going to give them much credit. I will say that the one nice thing about seeing that stuff in a formal setting is knowing that you're not missing major chunks of stuff, right? But even sometimes they even mess that up, right? Like, I remember that I didn't know what hashing was, so I was using dictionaries without knowing how the heck they actually worked until I got to college. But then college also forgot to bother telling us what an address sanitizer was in our systems courses, which made them absolutely miserable. So yeah, ay, ay, ay. It's totally viable. Nobody's bothered. It's just a little. It's a little tough. Why double free? There we are. Cool. So let's figure out the amount of energy this thing needs. Best unique. Yeah. So sounds. If I were gonna do it, I'd probably not really bother with the 3D thing. I'd just do like a top-down CS map or something and see if you can get some really cool tactical, like 5v5 team stuff out of it. That's probably what I would do. Honestly, there are like so many cool things though. Like the fact that RL is so good at mechanics is really interesting in some ways. Like aiming isn't that interesting, right? But if you think of like the mechanics in MMOs, that stuff is really interesting that RL can be really good at. Then it's more of a parkour. No, 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 not parkour game. I mean like the fact that you have a turning radius, right? Like who sees who first, who's covering what angle. That stuff would be really interesting. Angel investments? No. What do you mean, have I done angel investments or have I taken angel investments? Puffer's not big enough that I'd be doing angel investments. And it's doing well enough that I don't need to take angel investments. You know? DDR would be like trivial. But the thing is, that's like obvious button inputs, right? I think the games that are interesting for RL are the ones where it's kind of difficult to write a good scripted bot, but at the same time, it's like really easy for the RL to just crush the mechanics. I don't know. I think probably if I feel like doing M's for the sake of doing M's, I'm probably gonna do some more like MMO bosses. I did unfortunately download RuneScape again after seeing 25th anniversary, max concurrent players achieved, whatever. And there are just so many crazy things in that game that are awesome, awesome test environments for RL. They're looking at you. Did you actually play, or is it just sitting there looking at you for now? Did I actually play RS? Yeah, I play. I don't bot it. It's like my favorite game. Oh, yeah, yeah, I've been playing it a bit. I don't know. I mean, like, I hadn't played it in 3 years, but I still do probably have like a top 1% account or whatever. It's the only game I've ever like gotten towards the top of the player base at. And it's really surprisingly comfortable. Like, you can pick it back up very quickly, which is cool. All right, we need to get this energy profile to be something we can test. I think that's the next play. For some reason, this says 8.5 almost exactly. Doing RL experiments on their own. You come join the Puffer Discord and you ask around in there and read the guides. Like, doing RL experiments completely on your own outside of Puffer, you're not going to have a fun time. Like, I basically spent the last 2+ years actually making everything work. If you try to implement a lot of the stuff from scratch from papers, it's just not going to work. Okay, let me see if I have this right. So if I set this to 1, all right, somebody tell me the integral of this. I'm really dumb. Is it 1 or is it 2 pi? It's 1, right? Wait. Pi over... Or is it 24? No, wait, is it... It's supposed to be 24, right? Okay, we're gonna look up the stupidest integral ever because I haven't done an integral in years. Oh, you idiot. You dummy. Okay, we need to add, there has to be a base price of 1. Yeah, okay, I'm stupid. It's 0, duh. Okay, I forgot to shift it. And then if you shift it, it'll be, wait, if I shift it, it's 1, right? 1 each, yes, 24. MIT PhD, by the way. What is integral of cosine? Dude, if you need to ask the language model the integral of cosine, I no. If implementing from scratch doesn't work, how do I get a deep understanding of everything? Look, okay, I will be the first person to tell you to implement stuff from scratch. Implement environments from scratch, okay? Like, go look at how the environments are built in Puffer, follow one of our guides, and build your own environment completely from scratch. Don't go try to implement the algorithm from scratch. It will not work. It takes years to get these things to be properly stable. Like, if you just even go try anything outside of PufferLib, I promise you, go pick any other library and you just try to run the same experiments that we do, they will not work. You'll understand why a little bit more if you read some of the guides, but there is totally stuff that you can implement from scratch that will work and will be sane, but it's the environment. Don't try to do the algorithms. If you go try to just implement DQN or like, basic PPO or something, it just won't work. All right, so what do we have here? We got for my RL final to your channel recommended. Congrats, congrats, welcome. We are touching up this commerce environment and currently writing a bunch of tests to make sure dynamics are correct, and then we'll plug it back into PufferLib and we will run some crazy experiments to your channel recommend. If you have not seen PufferLib and you're doing RL, definitely check the project out. You can run tons and tons of experiments at home on your laptop at millions of steps per second. Here, some of our demos. These are all running in your browser. You can just click any of these. Simple breakout, something way, way more complicated. There's Impulse Wars. The bots are not great on this one, but they are there. All open source. You want to help out for free? Feed the Puffer a star on GitHub. We're almost to 5K. .49. Okay, you know why? This is only selling revenue. This is only selling energy over the cap. Is why. Yeah, it's only selling energy over the cap. Took me a few days to get sacked working on car racing. We weren't allowed to use libs aside from gym men. Yeah, so car racing, here you go. You can literally train this in seconds, man. Seconds. Where is it? I think this one could use a little bit more work, to be fair. Where's the top down for this? Is it, somebody added top down for this as well. There we go. Yeah, I think the agent is not amazing on the website for this. Yeah, it's not amazing on the website. This was like there is a better version of this, I believe, in the dev branch. But you can literally train it in seconds. Yeah, so for high throughput sim, SAC is just a really bad algorithm. Our stuff is it's not exactly PPO, it's a fairly advanced version from our own research. But we're able to crank currently 3 million steps per second on a lot of the environments. Next version it'll be 10 million. And that means you can learn a lot of stuff in just seconds, which is really awesome for experiments. Let's see if this fixes. 96, 95, one tick off. Why are we one tick off energy revenue? Ah, okay. So it's, In that case, then I should actually fix it a little bit. First puffer run the other day, was surprised how easy and fast everything was. It's going to get easier and faster. It just takes work. I mean, right now, most of my effort is going into the Puffer 4 release, which is just how do we get everything to train 10 million steps per second is the big project right now. My hope is that actually with Puffer 4, I'm going to have the performance categorized so nicely that users are actually going to be able to PR kernel improvements and stuff that make Puffer even faster. So the goal is we release 10 million steps per second base, and then one of you guys is going to actually know how to write proper kernels and probably send us some PRs. What kind of env if you want to say? Pretty much whatever. If you want to say, like, oh, his env, yeah. Sudoku env. Weston in the Discord has a Sudoku env as well, I'm pretty sure. Never PR'd it. It's a bit annoying because I do ask everyone for NPRs. I do eventually merge them. I'm just always doing a million things. But ultimately, we are reliant on adding more and more new interesting M's for research progress. I'm going to try set this to 0. Okay, now if this is 0, can I just like, I think I can just do this. Yeah. Perfect. And that is 96 rev. So if I add okay, that's two reasonable checks, I'd say. I'm gonna go grab myself a cup of tea, and then we will continue for about another hour, I'd say. Yeah, we're gonna get another hour in, and if I can just get a couple more of these checks, so we can have some confidence in this, then that means that the next session I work on this, we'll be able to probably start binding the agents back into this. I'll be right back. Okay. Is this what they use on Instacart? This is for cloud GPUs. I would be shocked if any companies actually have like high perf RL sims like this. This is actually just unique to Puffer. Nobody has these. If Instacart would like to have one of these, though, we do offer paid simulation development services, which is what this is. This is kind of one of those rare instances where I can stream it because the client decided to open source this. So it's pretty cool. Client right here, archive. You can go check these out. It's pretty cool. It's very cool. What is this? Hey, look at that. 258K concurrent. Exactly, sounds. That was not what I was expecting when you said cup of tea. Nothing like a nice cup of tea. I'll have to refill it constantly otherwise. All right, so let me think what we want next. So we've got I mean, probably it's worth investing in a good number of these little tests, right? I say we do a. Is it worth testing through the agent API specifically? So I'm trying to think if we do. The thing is, even if we go through the agent API, and we can probably just do one nice negotiation test. Up to 5 configurations. Yep. We'll do it that way. So, yeah, sellers, scripted sellers. So we have to do m.ai sellers 0. Buyers 0. Oh no, it's 1 and 1. Scripted sellers, scripted buyers. For this price. Oh, do I have, hang on, did I tell him I would get him a specific API in this? No, I didn't. Cool. Oh, that's cool. I can't handle that much caffeine. This is literally 1 tea bag, dude. I do this because I've had too much caffeine lately, so this actually just gets me to moderate it. It's just a very large cup of weak tea. The morning mug, though, is pretty good. The morning mug recipe, the first one of the day, the current recipe is 2 scoops of protein powder, 2 teaspoons of cocoa, what is it? A dash of cinnamon, and a shot of espresso with 2 cups of whole milk. You end up getting a 66 gram of protein hot chocolate. I highly recommend that one. No. No protein tea. Protein hot chocolate good though. Okay, so the trick here is just really going to be figuring out the actions, right? Really just the price mall, 2 times request index. Sellers and then buyers go. I don't like to have warnings. Uh-oh. What happened here? 96. That looked good to me. What the heck did I do? Where'd my cursor just go? How did I do that? What? Morning, snowfall. Snowfolks. I don't know. Morning, snow. Where are we? Okay, there we go. Now we do 98. 98. It's just a numerics thing. Huh? We literally just looked at this, didn't we? Ooh. Oh, I see. That's interesting. Kilowatt hour. Base price. Yeah, you have this in cents or some bullshit, right? That's wrong. Okay, so we're off by a factor. There we go. There we go. And I believe we don't even need to do this weird check, right? Because integers we should be able to represent cleanly, right? No? Alright, fine, we'll do the fuzzy check. Still a no? Fine. Zero. Cool, we actually do have it. I was right. It's the one at the bottom. Failed the bilateral check. Good. Alright, so we got some nice test specs in here. Ooh, and we even have we got the bilateral in here. Perfect. So all we gotta do is figure out bilateral negotiation and we'll be good. Will you be hiring video editors for the announcement video? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that again. I probably will just use the guy that I used before, because last time I hired and paid, I believe, 4 different people. I hired like a couple cheap video editors, one like medium price video editor, and one like fairly expensive video editor. And I mean, the guy I paid the most to just did the best job by far. So actually, the thing that I'm way more interested in is I have a project in mind where I want to get the puffer mascot retouched. I want to get the model remade to look pretty much the same as it does now, but actually have it rigged correctly and everything. Um, and I want to get a number of animations made. So I have like a decent little animation project, probably a few $1,000s budget that I'm going to need to find somebody for. That one I'm going to make sure I get somebody good though. Like I'm going to make sure I get somebody who has done like low poly character design and animation. No, I did not make the little puffer myself. Are you kidding me? That took like several hundred messages back and forth between 2 different artists. Welcome, Damas. Okay, so now we have, this is the last test we need for now, I think. Let's see what we want to get out of this. Job revenue, 800. So we want to get 1,000 revenue out of this thing. I think we have some weirdness with the action space. I think it's this. Yeah, there we go. I had the action space indexed wrong. Wah, wah. Cool. Now we have revenue, we have expense, but we want to do something with negotiation. We want to do something with negotiation. So I think that what we want to do is The seller is the first agent, right? So this is the seller. The seller is going to go high. The buyer is going to go high. Buyer offers low. Okay, that still is expected, but now this doesn't give us much to test. So I think we're going to do seller offers point. Well, don't. Interesting. Interesting. 5% discount. I think that matches, right? Yeah. There's a 5% discount. This is the seller. Seller should be $950. Oh, this is the, wait, this is the seller. So this is buyer, seller, expense. Look at that. That's quite nice. Let's just add boom. There you go. Now we have some nice tests. I'll make a quick commit, and then we can figure out if we need any other tests. But this is a solid starting point. We probably should have like a energy sale or something test, a few other things. All right. Cool. Let me go let the client know that we have some tests passing for him. Here we go. Okay. I want to think about if there are any other tests we need before we start trying to do the agent stuff. My goal would be if we can just start on the next time I do a block of work on this, if we can just start doing the agent stuff, that would be ideal. We actually do have agents from the earlier versions, by the way. It works great. It's just you know, the new version that we don't have agents on. Man, this is so cool to see. That's funny. Okay. Uh, Material agent negotiation. What type of stuff is gonna break? So you got the basics of order filling. I kind of want to like extend this test over many episodes, maybe. let's just actually. It's 10 a.m. And I could just like get the binds like fixed up real quick. No. Let's go look at them. Yeah, this is one of those super obnoxious binding things that I gotta improve in Puffer 4. Cross-line bindings just kind of suck. There are no TB usage DR. There's no TB price DR, right? Yeah. And this preset thing. All right. Capacity. There. go check the original. See what we've got. Sellers. Got the gnome agents. We got the episode length. Request timeout. Job duration DR. This can go up here. See, what about job TB usage? Job efficiency, where is it? Job duration TB usage, like this. Job nodes as well is up there, of course. I find it very important to like spend the time to do this manually, to have stuff structured. Like semantic grouping is so important. You don't need a code auto formatter, you don't need a huge style guide, you just need to do basic semantic grouping manually. There. That looks good. Now let's take a look at the cluster specs. We can do this will be cluster node capacity, cluster node capacity DR, cluster terabyte capacity, node capacity, and that is everything with this. Buyer spec. We don't need this either, we just get rid of this. There. Score, expense, profit. These logs are a little skimpy. That's good for now. See, this is like the thing where I hate having to have things in 4 places, but like it's a language barrier thing, right? Because I have the struct, okay, and C doesn't have defaults for structs. So I could have like a create method or whatever that provides defaults. So I have it in 2 places. And I could have it just be in 2 places if it were C. But then you have the binding file here, so that's 3 places. If you want the default in the Python file, so you can create it as a standalone, that's 4 places. And then if you want the default in your config file, then now that's 5 places. So, annoying. Like, I could just do pargs on this. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do, watch this. We'll do here, pargs. We'll do this. Just do it like this for now. This will be much less of a pain in the ass. Because now all I gotta do is this, right? We'll go get all the numbers for this. All right. So we can grab the old parameters pretty much from here, right? Reward scale will change a lot. Space. All these got copied correctly. Very good. Yep. Not bad. Don't need this. Cool. No spec KWH generation. KW generation. Cluster, it's KW. Archi dot. Okay. Oops. Wrong one. Missing kilowatt hour GR. Okay, hang on. 1 second, folks. Okay. I just have to add these last couple params. Missing required. Ah, this is fun. Oops. Try this. Missing required. Try again. Electronic stuff. I've done a couple things 24, not very much. And no CUDA GPUs, lovely. Probably hangs, right? Yeah. We'll fix that later though. At least we got the bindings added. Perfect. Okay, that is a nice 2.5 hour block of work done on this environment this morning. Let me see if we have any messages. Nope. So, the next time I do this, we will probably be able to get the agents training again. That will be the hope. Um, this environment here has been open sourced by one of our clients. You can check it out right here. There you are. So this is the new version of it that I'm working on. It's open source, so I figured I may as well stream it. Go give them a follow if you want to check out cool, high performance commerce sims for RL and what they're building on top of that. Other than that, 5 to 10% science. Basic science means like coming up with hypotheses, coming up with experiments to test them, and then not screwing up that process along the way such that your experiments aren't actually designed to test the thing that you think or are not actually valid. Just basic scientific training. It sounds simple, but you'd be surprised the percentage of papers and like published papers that just mess up the very, very basics. A lot of what I do is just doing the basics well. Okay, so for everyone else watching, I'm going to the gym soon, so if you are interested in my stuff generally, check out puffer.ai. It's all open source. You can help us out for absolutely free by starring the GitHub. Feed the puff for a star. We're almost at 5,000. You can join the Discord to get involved with dev, most of which is just building sims and plugging stuff into RL. It's a good way to get involved. Many of these are built by contributors. Good way to learn some low-level dev as well. And you can follow me on X for more RL content as well. I will be back maybe tonight, but definitely tomorrow. And I've got to have another like long kernel dev session probably tomorrow. That's going to be the plan. We're going to see if we can finally hit 10 mil.